We'll kick things off with Hilary Dyer from Grandview Outdoors. You see, this is Hilary's first time hunting a Texas whitetail.
Well, it's the first day of the hunt. We are headed out. It's opening day of Texas's gun season. So we are headed out to an old clear-cut, old food plot. Gonna sit and see what comes out. We're looking for a big whitetail, but I hope we get lucky. We had deer all over the place. I probably had 20 deer out there that morning. We had a couple immature 8-points running around, one really nice looking. We weren't quite sure how old he was. He wasn't quite outside of his ears yet, but a close to getting to be mature deer, looked to be about an 8-point with funny looking tines that kind of came together in the front. His middle tines sort of came together, almost touching each other in the front. He had a cool looking rack, but probably a last day deer, not a first day deer, so we let him walk.
Now, after her morning hunt, Hilary headed back out that afternoon to a different setup.
Saturday evening, we went out about 2 or 3 o'clock, sat in a tripod stand overlooking some clear-cut areas, real brushy, lots of sage and mesquite everywhere, so kind of growed up, but we had plenty of shooting lanes, places to see, so we had a little bit of everything out there that evening. We had deer all over the place. They came from the left, they came from the right, they came from the front, some came in behind us about 10 yards away. Unbelievable. Deer everywhere. We had a fairly decent 8-point. He was probably 3.5, not quite old enough to shoot. Still had some velvet dripping off of one of his horns. That was pretty cool. We decided to let him walk. He needed another year, but he's going to be a gorgeous deer next year. So really good sit, just didn't quite see the deer we were looking for. Well, we were headed out this morning. It's early. We just had the time change last night, so we got up really early this morning. Headed out. We've got a lot of people to drop off, so we're taking the Yamaha Viking 6. Going to get everybody settled and see what we see.
We're catching back up with Hilary Dyer as she sets out for her morning hunt.
So morning of day 2, it was Sunday morning. The time change had been the night before. We had just set the clocks back. So we had to get up really early. We had no idea what to expect in the morning. We had a couple of nice 8-points come in. One had some really cool kickers off of his G2s. We knew he was a shooter. We knew he'd be, there was a good chance we'd see him this day, and we did. So he walked out. We talked about it a little bit, my guide and I, and we just decided this guy's a shooter. If he gives us a shot broadside, we're gonna take him. This deer's out about 60 yards away maybe or so, and there's just this one other small immature deer hanging out with him, and to our total surprise, this little deer comes up behind my kicker deer and mounts him. And my guide and I are just sitting there like, what am I supposed to do now? He put up with that for just a second, and then he kicked that guy off and he ran away, and the does continued to mill around a little bit. He started walking away just a little bit. I snicked the safety off, and he took a couple more steps, turned broadside and stood still, just like you, exactly the shot opportunity you want. It felt good.
Yeah, how'd it feel?
It felt great. He's a great looking deer. Cool looking, I think an 8-point with a couple little kickers. Should be really nice.
It's a good deer.
Yeah, he's a nice deer. I tend to be pretty cool during the shot, and then afterwards is when I get the buck fever pretty bad. So I need to settle for a minute. So we climbed down out of the stand, walked out to about where we thought we'd shot him at, and see a few drops of blood on the ground. Not a lot, but it was bright red, so that's a good sign. So, typical blood trailing. We'll follow a few drops here. A few feet away, there's a few more drops, a few drops on this cactus over here. So we just followed that blood trail through the brush. kept looking and kept finding, and then finally I peeked up, and a few yards ahead of me there's that white belly that you're hoping to see when you're following a blood trail. This cactus is covered with it. Is that him? I think that's him. See his belly? I think that's him. He looks down.
Let's go. That's it.
All right. Oh, he's a nice deer. He didn't run far either.
He's a nice deer.
Yeah, he is. Look at him. Dark antlers. Look at him. Well, I'm excited. This is my best deer I've ever shot. Great hunt in Texas. There's deer all over the place, and this guy is just a beautiful buck. Look at him. Nice mass, decent tine length, nice dark antlers, good shot I'm proud of. He's a great deer. I'm excited.
Hey, congratulations, Hilary, on your personal best whitetail. We'll be sure to enter that into the Yamaha Whitetail Diaries. That'll do it for us. We'll see you next time.